Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into this edition of This Week in Flyers Hockey, and it's a celebration indeed here all around the world here. With me, as always, is my group of companions, and also a very nostalgic group of companions for the last 24 hours or so, alongside Joey Marks and Austin Hammel joining me once again. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
USA, USA, USA.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like that Van Halen. I was gonna play that Van Halen song "Top of the World," but I said, maybe I don't think I should. I don't want Sammy Hagar to give me any like cease and desist disorders for his song. So honestly, how you doing, Austin? Good to see you, buddy.
I'm feeling great, man. It was a hell of a win for the U.S. in the Olympics. Incredible tournament play overall for those guys. So I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys about this today.
Absolutely. Basically, I think the one thing we could talk about here with this Olympic break was that it was a lot of good sports to go around. Obviously, curling was great. I didn't watch a lot of the figure skating because I'm not into that kind of stuff. But there's like other stuff that caught my eye. I mean, even like watching curling and watching how it's like adjusted to it was like actually pretty cool. Like obviously the USA hockey team and also like the Olympics. I mean, I think this was probably the first year, probably going back to 2010, when I watched the Olympic like very closely, especially how the Olympics were that good that year too. But I think this probably was just as good as a like that was back in that 2010 year. Unfortunately, Canada won it and because of Sidney Crosby, but overall that was still probably one of the best. But this one probably takes the cake about what this has been like for the last handful of weeks, and also hard to believe it's been. I mean, those 2 weeks just when it went by.
Yeah.
I mean, it whizzed by before you even blinked here. So, guys, I'll ask you this question here. Obviously, before we get into our topic here of the day, obviously, Team USA winning the gold medal. I was actually not up for it. I was actually sleeping like a rock on a med, so I missed mass majority of the game. So, let me. So, Joey, I'll ask you the first question here. Like, was there any sport that stuck out to you other than the USA hockey team? Like, that stuck out to you like during this Olympic break? Like,
You know
was it
what?
curling or was it curling or was it just a hockey team and just hockey play in general?
It was the hockey play in general, but I'll tell you this right now, and I kind of said it to you prior to the Olympics starting, James. I'm like, this U.S. women's hockey team,
Mm,
I'm telling you, they are lethal. I
yeah,
mean,
they
they
were
are
good.
Yeah.
just, they are a bunch of lethal women that just know how to play puck. I'm an equal opportunity guy, and I'll tell you this right now, though. There are some of those women. I've said this to my wife. I'm like, they could outplay some of the men, in
Yeah,
my
for sure.
opinion.
For sure.
I, I think that at some point we are going to have to look at some of these women, and I know, like, if we go back to like the Mighty Ducks movies, like there were girls intertwined within the Mighty Ducks roster.
Hmm.
And so for me, it was like, yeah, look, if they're badass, they're badass. And like a lot of these women are just, they're flying around the rink like crazy. I mean, some of these, you could put the fastest skater in the NHL against the fastest skater in the females. And I'm not saying that the woman would win, but I'm saying it would be damn close. Those girls are just flying around.
Yeah.
I'm really interested because there is it was started about 3 years ago,
Mm.
a female professional hockey league.
Yeah,
I'm
Hmm.
the
really,
PWHL.
Yeah.
yeah, really interested in diving more into that because I think, unlike the WNBA, I honestly think that these girls have so much more talent than what you really anticipate, what you expect.
Mm.
Like the shots, the ability to um they dodge checks very interestingly. It's almost like a ballerina, kind of like letting you miss. But some of these girls, they lay the wood down, man.
Yeah.
I said this to my wife. I love my wife, but I said this. I'm like, I was a grinder. I was a guy who dropped the gloves. But I'm telling you now, if one of those girls dropped the gloves at me, I let her beat the hell out of me. I just saying that right now. That girl, those girls are they are so incredibly talented. So that was an event that I was like looking forward to, and the fact that they won gold before the men's, I was like, oh wow, this could be an epic Olympics for me because I get to see both the men's and the women's U.S. Olympics hockey teams win gold, and like that was so fitting for me. And then the fact that they beat Canada, both of them beat Canada to win gold is just also fitting.
Right. Also, like, what was there any sport out to you like that stuck out to you with the Olympics during this 2 week break?
I mean, I feel like it was more for the controversy that sort of surrounded it, but the curling was definitely fun. That whole thing with apparently I forget what country they represented, but there was a guy who like they kept saying was like as he was letting go of the rocks, he was like giving a little extra like poke push. And that became like a whole thing for a couple days.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was like a genuine cheating allegation being laid in the middle of the Olympics during the competition. Yeah.
Well, there was also the cheating aspect with I think it was the alpine jumpers for the men alpine jumpers is that they were injecting certain things into their nether regions to get more aerodynamic. And so there was a whole controversy during that about doping and then testing to make sure that these guys were not inflating their egos in order to inflate themselves over the jump.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That's just insane. I can't play fair. I guess he wanted to Mark McGuire the shit out of it. I guess.
Hey, I mean if there's something that they're not checking for, you know that someone's going to be doing it.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised it wasn't Russia because like Russia would do something like that.
I just didn't know that being John Holmes made you more aerodynamic. I just didn't know that, honestly.
Yeah, should have fooled me on that one.
Yeah. So for me, the one thing that was really a positive for me, obviously, I didn't watch the men's, but I watched the women's curling, and kudos to Tamitha Peterson, man. She is just like the way she was like curling like that, like the shots and stuff. Like on those shots, it was like my dad was like, it was like Roy Halladay throwing a sinker on the outside corner for strike 3. Like she was really significant. I mean, she was like, she blew me away with some of the shots she made for those rocks and stuff. But I was like, damn, it's just like, and obviously I thought she was, I mean, there was like a girl actually hard away from Delaware County. I thought it was her because she looked like a Delco girl. Like she looked like she had like, but obviously it was like the other one. But no, but she was like, she to me was probably the one thing, like other than the men's and women's hockey team being significant. I mean, that to me was like, and also how they covered the game and told you the details of like how like the shots are supposed to be made and this, that, and the other. And it was just like, I might be looking forward to in the next 4 years to see what curling can do for these girls that were here for the Olympics and see what they'll do for the next 4 years or so. But it was really significant, gonna admit.
Well, you know what, James? There was something I observed during this Olympics that me and you had talked about as a project. Now, I'll kind of be transparent with our audience right now. So me being totally blind, like there's a thing called audio description. And audio description is basically like if you're watching a movie or TV show, like in certain streaming platforms, they have audio description. Certain TV shows and movies through certain streaming services have audio description. What audio description is, it's someone over top of the regular dialogue that describes what's going on around the scene. Like what if someone fell and there was no dialogue to indicate, who fell, the audio describer says so-and-so fell over whatever. And it helps for a person like myself to kind of visualize and imprint a picture of what I'm watching. So with the Olympics being so big, they had audio description.
Really?
For a lot of their events. And
Wow.
me and James had this discussion with Scott Churchson, I would say about a year or so ago, and I kind of
Mhm.
shelved it because it is a big endeavor, and there's
Mm,
a lot that goes along with it. But
mm,
I was actually surprised that they had audio description for hockey.
mm.
Because I had said to you, James, when we had this discussion about audio description within
Yeah.
sports,
Mhm.
that hockey would be the hardest because it's so fast paced. I
Right.
said I would almost start with baseball because that's the slower pace of
Sure.
all the sports. You could probably fit in audio description in between pitches, or there's spots, like there's literal like low hanging fruit spots to fill in audio description for baseball. But
Right.
with hockey, I'm listening to this audio describer. I'm not saying he was good. I'll say that. I'll put it that way. He was good. Do I think he left out some things that I would have liked to have known? Sure. But like for me, having heard it from a sporting events side of things, I was so impressed. Um, with the audio description. And look, it's kind of motivated me to think, okay, it's possible. Now, here's the big part of it.
Hmm.
The audio description, because of the Olympics, was all audio described. Because
Right.
it's the Olympics. It's such this monumental event. It's hard to sit there and be like, well, you just take one, Major League Baseball team, out of all the teams, you just take one. It's very minuscule in comparison to the massive Olympics.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Like it made me, watching it and listening to it that way, it made me kind of feel more confident
Hmm.
that it's possible in the future. It just needs to be pushed more, and can't be just looked at as, well, the Olympics are the only thing. You can only do it when it's that big of a thing.
Sure.
I think if people took more care in the idea that it is more doable, and the fact that it was doable during a hockey game makes me even uh more confident that it's doable with other sports.
Hmm.
Because he did a pretty good job. I mean, I
Hmm.
I was kind of impressed, and he was getting into it. The audio describer was getting into it because it was live audio description. So
Yeah.
he was
Sure.
getting into it as the game was proceeding along.
Hmm.
So when Jack Hughes made the game-winning goal, he was ecstatic. So I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like,
Wow.
"Okay."
Okay.
So I think it's definitely something that it opened my eyes. I
Hmm.
was like, I don't know how to
Fascinating.
react to this. I said that to my wife. I'm like, I don't know how to react to this. I know it was my idea before, and now I'm seeing it come to fruition in a larger way. But damn, it works. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, the thing that sticks out to me the most is that I never even knew there was an audio description for like some of the
Yeah.
stuff is, let alone, I mean, I know we tried to like, I mean, I know we were trying to like toot our own horn to see what kind of sport will be good for that. Obviously, baseball
Yeah.
or football or maybe basketball, but hockey to me, I mean, even though how fast it is and how to keep up
Mhm.
with that, that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant stuff there, Joe.
Yeah, and the fact that he was very clean with his delivery of like how he
That's even
said
better.
certain things, it didn't make it seem like you were listening to like those guys that like do like Mexican soccer, and you hear
Um,
and it's like okay, he's saying words, and it's not that I can't understand it because it's in Spanish. It's that I don't think he's saying the whole word as he's speaking it,
mm,
because he's saying it so quickly,
it,
and
it-
it's
it's
not like entertain. It's like micro machines. If
yeah.
you can go back in the day to that,
Right.
um, speed talking. So it
Yeah.
was a great delivery by him.
Well, hopefully, the best way I could describe it is that hopefully it was not forceful or straight in his
Right.
voice. Like it was like it's just skillful at the same time too.
Yes.
So, obviously we'll get back to the Olympic talk here. So obviously yesterday, 46-year anniversary. Hard to believe it was actually 46 years ago on the day that Team USA actually won. Actually, they didn't win gold, but they won the go to the gold medal against Russia, and also that Miracle on Ice thing, and obviously I've been harping about it going back to before the Olympics even started, that there was a documentary on that Miracle on Ice team from 1980, and still to this day getting memorized about that. But most importantly, too, the thing I was really ecstatic about, I got a couple of photos here to show you. This picture right here has probably just shows you a lot of like action speaks better than words here, because this actually to me is was one of the reasons why I was annoyed that I missed this. I mean, I actually got the chance to see it later. In case you haven't noticed, I'll do my own audio description, like Joey just brought up here. Is that it's Connor Hellebuck, Robin Devontae. I think it's Devontae's of the Colorado Avalanche, stopping the puck, stick side, literally showing his stick, and actually stopping the puck here. But most importantly, to me, the other thing that was really significant too is that I think Connor Hellebuck had his inner Jim Craig kind of game like it was on that Miracle on Ice team in 46, because I saw the picture right after we won the gold medal, and I said to myself, "Is that's Jim Craig all over again?"
It just occurred to me, James. Connor Hellebuck had 46 saves yesterday.
Yeah.
That's ironically weird.
It's like you couldn't script it any better, you know?
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
That's ironically weird that it is that
46 years.
It's 46 saves.
46 saves. Wow. Definitely stood on his head too. So, I mean, the thing that I was really surprised about more than anything is that I can go back to, like I said, we can go back to when USA was in the gold medal game in 16 years ago. And it was Zach Parise tying the game with like probably less than a second to go in regulation and tying that game. And I'm thinking they're going to win the gold medal. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously that was like 30 years at the time. Then it was at 46. Hard to believe it took only 16 years later. But Sid
the Kid came out and broke our hearts.
Yep. And then the funny fact is that it was Mike Richards was on that team too, and Mike Richards and Jonathan Toews were in that Stanley Cup final in 2010 for the Flyers and Blackhawks. Yeah. We got a comment here. So Mike Green checks in and says, "I was only 12 when they won it in 80, and a lot of people got confused about winning against the CCP." And a little trivia: who was the goaltender for Finland that year?
For what?
Wait,
Finland.
You know who that was? I think it was Pelle Lindbergh.
Yeah,
I think it was Pelle Lindbergh.
Yeah, that was the first name that came to my head.
Yep, because I remember I watched it. I watched it later. I said to myself, "Is that wait a second?" Because I was watching that Miracle on Ice team a couple of days ago before what happened yesterday, and then Al Michaels was like, "Save made by Lindbergh," and my dad's like, "That's Pelle Lindbergh." I was like, "Holy shit, it is Pelle Lindbergh." And then at the time, he was still with. Yep. We were correct, man. The Gray Lake Pelle Lindbergh.
Well, yep. I'm not surprised that the hockey encyclopedia gets that one correct. But
technically, I'm 46 years old, Joe.
Well, here's the thing, James. It occurred to me as I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game with my wife and my daughter, and I'm like, I wasn't even alive when they last got gold. Actually, I'm old, and I'm like,
well, Joe, you were. Oh no, yeah, you weren't born when the USA hockey team. You were born in November. That's right.
Right, February of 1980 is when they won gold.
That's right.
I wasn't born until November,
That's right.
So I'm like, I wasn't even born. I was like, what the hell?
You were 6 months in. You're not even 6 months into your mom's uterus.
Seriously, I'm just like a flash in my dad's eye at that point.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will be a good omen for the Phillies, because the last time we checked that the Phillies won the World Series in 1980, so anything is possible.
Here's something else to think about, and this is a question that kind of springboarded into like some of the Flyers is, does this, breaking this much of a drought, 46 years, does this mean that there's a possibility of another drought being broken in the NHL? Perhaps the Flyers winning a cup? Like,
fingers crossed.
Let's hope so.
Anything, that game showed me one thing. Connor Hellebuck had a difficult time in the beginning of the season, but that game, I mean, they're comparing him to Dominic Hasek, to guys like that for the Olympics and the World Cup and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I can't argue with that. Like, I really can't. Like, that guy, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have won gold. The period and the statement, the full stop. Like that is the literal antithesis of the run. Is if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be in that position, nor would we have been in a position to even win that game. That game could have easily been 4-1 Canadians going into the third period.
Right.
And it wasn't, luckily. And he made stops that I don't know. Like, you brought up the whole Taves and the paddle save. He was making save like that with his glove. He was making like diving saves with I'm just thinking, this dude's just determined. And it makes me also wonder, he's 27 years old. Yeah. This guy's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, it's funny.
It reminds me of Patrick Waugh when he was with Colorado. And we're like, oh boy, this guy's going to be around. He's going to be a headache for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, too. Hellebuck, to me, I was watching him last year very closely with Winnipeg. Obviously, that's my third closet team because of, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a closet Chicago Wolves fan, and Kevin Shelladayoff is
no.
Could have fooled me.
What?
Well,
You've only mentioned the Chicago Wolves 20 times on this show. No.
I'm just kidding. No. But the way, yeah, man. I mean, the way Hellebuck was yesterday, it was just like, man, he was on a mission. That's what it was. He was on a mission, and I think he was just there to just probably just. I mean, it's still speechless to think about like how much he played. Like, he played his backside off yesterday, and even though Jack Hughes is a devil, and obviously there's a couple players that are like not ex Flyers, but rivals to our Flyers at this point. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It was just more like that they basically, I think the one thing Mike Sullivan did yesterday, like when he did his speech before this game, it was kind of like his Herb Brooks, like, this is your time. Like, this is your time to go out and take this opportunity while you can. And that's probably that's exactly what happened yesterday. I mean, obviously, yeah, sure. I mean, the thing that was a little bit funny too, a little poke at Nathan McKinnon when they were giving out the medals to the Canadian team. They were giving out like a little stuffed animal. What are they things that like these kids like nowadays? They're kind of like, what's that? No, not a teddy bear, but like it's like some kind of stuffed animal, like kind of like an old like a little stuffed animal. And Nathan McKinnon's like, yeah, thanks. Like his face like said it all. It was like, here's your medal and here's a little stuffed animal for your kid. He was like, yeah. Thanks.
Alan Morgani was live with Tom Kelly on the air with WIP during the medal ceremony when they were giving the medals. And he's like, look at the Canadians. And they're getting their silver medals, and they look like they have the biggest sourpusses on their faces.
They do.
Possible. And it's like, okay, like,
even John Cooper had a little bit of a sour grape look on his face when he was talking about it like later, like 24 hours later, gonna admit.
Yeah, but you gotta understand something. Like, they have a sourpuss because they're gonna use that silver and say, well, we lost our sport. Well, you did, but like, understand something, and I've said this to many people. This was the United States' chance. When Russia comes back and other other teams and nations come back to the Olympics in 4 years. Who knows? Who knows it's going to be wide open. If Russia was in this tournament, it would have made things a lot different. And that would
have been a 3-horse race for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And the idea that like with the Canadian national team, they have nothing really to be that disappointed in, because that game, that gold medal game, was as thrilling as it could possibly have been. And the fact that you threw that many shots, you did everything you could. You threw everything at them. So it's not like you can hang your head and be like, hey, we sucked. Like, no, you guys showed up and showed out. Just the game was on the line, and Jack Hughes decided he was gonna play the hero. And to be fair, like Jack Hughes had a couple chiclets missing because of a high stick earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And so, the idea that my wife was watching is like, oh, that's gotta hurt. I'm like, well, he's not feeling any pain until tomorrow. Like, because when you're on the ice, when you have that adrenaline going, it doesn't matter. You lose teeth, you have blood, you get stitched up, you go right back in, and you don't feel.
I'll tell you right now, hockey players are the biggest warriors. I mean, you think about it right now. I think for me, that takes the cake about how big of a warrior that NHL players are, and hockey players in general. Because like here's the thing. I mean, you think about like basketball and like LeBron James, like flopping every chance he gets. Like not Nathan McKinnon, but who was it you said that had like a couple teeth taken out?
Jack Hughes.
Yeah, Jack Hughes literally got a few teeth taken out, and he's like, "Cut me, man! Gets me." Just goes back out there.
He was out for 8 minutes of regulation time. They literally they took the teeth. He chipped 2 of his front. No, he had 2 taken out of his front, and then 1 was taken out of his molar. Like a part of his tooth was taken out of his molar because it was chipped. So he was like, yeah, okay, take him out, put him aside. He's like, he's doing an interview at the end of the game with like no front teeth.
Right.
And like 2 front teeth missing. He's like
Bobby Clark, it's like the Bobby Clark smile.
He doesn't care. He's like, okay, like I'll get him fixed later. It's fine. I want a gold medal. Like,
yeah.
And my wife's like, isn't he in pain? I'm like, no.
Yeah, definitely.
The adrenaline's going. He's not in pain. Like I'm grateful. It's one of the reasons why my wife like hesitated when I was like, would you have still married me if I was a professional hockey player? She's like, no. I was like, no. And I'm like,
really?
What are you talking about? And she's like, I couldn't deal with the lack of teeth. I'm like, the lack of teeth? And she's like, yeah, hockey players have lack of teeth. I'm like, it's called fake ones. You put them back in. Like, what are we talking about here?
Well,
so
I would be a fly on the wall. How would you look if it was Duncan Keith at 2010 with those pucks in TV talk?
Oh no, I got one better.
Dustin Buffalo.
Yes, with the like three teeth, like from the top 3 teeth. That's all I had. It was just 3 teeth. He took his thing out during the game.
Yeah.
And I'll just never forget, like, he got punched in the face. He got the glove. Chris Gratton dropped the gloves with him, and he got punched in the face. He chipped one of his, like, I guess, implants, and he just took them all out, put his mouth guard back in. It was like, those are too expensive to break. I'm gonna put those aside.
Another one that comes to mind for me is it was when he had moved over to the Red Wings from the Senators, but Daniel Alfredson,
right,
playing on a shift for the Red Wings, takes a high stick, loses like 4 teeth.
Yes,
finishes the shift. Play gets blown dead. He skates back to his own end and picks up 4 teeth off of the ice. Goes over to the bench to the equipment guy and just goes, "Here."
Just hold on to these for me.
Yeah, hold these for me.
Losing teeth. How about it, man? Wow, that's funny.
It's like, and you think about it, James. When you think about baseball players, pitchers have blisters, and they're like, I gotta come out of the game. I got
blisters on my fingers.
I got a blister on my finger. And it's like, okay, dude, this dude's got teeth getting ripped out of his mouth. All right, like you got guys that are getting dinged up, and they're just like, okay.
Plenty of times you've seen a guy take a high stick or get caught with a body and their face hits the glass. They're on the bench, and you see them reach into their mouth and just yank one out.
Yeah. It's funny. I think Pascal Dupuis did that during the game one time too. It was either Pascal Dupuis or Chris Kunitz in that Flyer series. one of
Chris
those bars
Tarian
Penguins.
spit one of his teeth at the trainer during a game.
Yep.
He literally was like, he wasn't going to come off the ice. He just came over. He felt it loose. He just looked at the trainer. Trainer had like a bucket. He spit it right into the bucket and just kept skating. I was like,
oh, you know what it was
too.
too.
Into the bucket. He's like, a tooth.
Actually, believe it or not, I think it wasn't Pascal the Queer or Chris Kunitz. It was Braden Coburn who got a puck in the eye, and two weeks later he's back on the ice. Literally a puck in the eye, and like literally his eye is shot. And
what about
Leperrier too? Lappy too.
Yeah, I was going to say that Leperrier had 18 stitches across his eye.
Right,
and he was like, "Just stitch me up. I'm good." Like,
yeah,
they were like,
he won an award on Hockey News. He was like the Hockey News' toughest man in the NHL award.
Well, I mean, he took that in the first period. They stitched him up, and they were like, "He's not coming back for the rest of the game." In third period, he's like on the bench, like, "I'm ready to go," and they're like, "You have 18 stitches on your head." He's like, "Yeah, so I'm still still skating. Like, what the hell's the point?" Like,
I remember there was another one. I don't remember the guy's name, but he played for the Blue Jackets. Went down to block a shot, got hit in the face with the puck. Was gone for the remainder of the third. Overtime hits. He's on the bench, comes onto the ice, scores the game winner.
Wow. I think I remember that too. That was probably.
I mean, that's Jack Eichel. I mean, that's Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes, exactly.
Like, he gets hit. They think, okay, he may not come back. We'll see. And he, like I said, he only missed 8 minutes of regulation, and then this guy comes in and just they keep switching lines. And the Olczyk was Eddie Olczyk was saying on the commentary, he's like, these guys got to figure out what lines they can use because they need momentum. Because the Canadians were just out shooting them. Like, I think they were out shooting them like 10-1 in the third period at one point. And so like they have to figure out the right combination. All of a sudden you just see them start packing like the Hughes brothers and the Tkachuk brothers and stuff together. You start seeing them throwing all these different, people out there. Now, unfortunately, our good friend John Tortorella got a gold medal, but there it is.
He wasn't the one leading the team, so it's not.
No,
really,
he wasn't.
No,
he wasn't.
It was Mike Sullivan.
We can take solace in that fact.
Yeah, we can take Mike Sullivan and taking that any day, right?
He would, because if it was John Tortorella, he probably would have benched Jack Hughes.
Yeah. If it was Tortorella, we wouldn't have made it out of qualifiers.
Oh my god!
You kidding me?
Oh my god! You ain't wrong, Joe. You ain't wrong.
And, one of our commenters here actually brought up a really good point. U.S. and Canada both had to survive overtime in the previous round to even make it to the gold medal round.
Yeah,
it for a minute looked like Canada in their semifinal game was dead in the water.
Yep.
They were down. What was it? 3-1.
Yep.
Something like that.
Fight all the way back to force overtime and win it 4-3. U.S. up 1-0 on Finland. Finland found a way back into it, forced overtime, and we managed to just barely beat them there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Just shows the determination that these guys have.
This kind of makes me also believe that the NHL will stick to this Four Nations thing.
I would hope so.
Because you know what? This fervor needs to continue. This rivalry between the Canadians and the United States needs to continue.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
I want to see this more next year. I want the Four Nations back. I want to see these guys face off, and I want to see them, drop the puck and let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see the All-Star format from going forward just be the Four Nations.
Yes.
And just do the skills competition stuff before the tournament starts.
Yes.
Because like the hockey skills competition is really solid.
Yes.
It is.
And then to have that sort of even if you have it as like a thing before each game, like a couple of the little things that you do during like the skills competition or run like before the game for teams that aren't participating in the slate that day. Like you can do that kind of stuff and have it be a separate tournament bracket thing where like points are accrued for the skills competition outside of the regular game stuff. And then you have, whoever wins the skills competition wins the skills competition, and then whoever wins the tournament wins the tournament.
I hate to say it, but like, especially after the Olympics and what we saw and kind of the fervor that is surrounding the ability to replace an all-star game with like the 4 nations and knowing what that drama brings with that, I think the NHL above all the other 3 major sports, I think they may have gotten it right with the all-star kind of with the all-star break, because none of the other leagues are figuring it out, and NHL's like, the hell with it, just send them back to their country and pick the 4 best countries and just have them beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the next best all-star experience would be baseball.
Yeah,
like the NBA all-star experience is dying. The Pro Bowl's been dead for at least 10 years.
Oh God, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I still feel like with basketball, they could do it if they wanted to. They could do it like the 4 nations, but they're not going to. Like they're just not going to.
No.
Like they could steal that perspective, and if they did it, it probably would be successful. Now with the NFL, that just feels like a joke.
It's stale.
It just feels like a joke now. And I feel like the difference between what was before with when it was like the 90s, them going to Hawaii and all of that, you got to see people like perform. Now it's like, oh no, we don't want our guys getting hit and tackled. I'm like, come on now.
Come on, dude.
Wait, like they weren't getting hit and tackled that hard back in the
90s. I mean, this isn't like Reggie White here.
Sean Taylor did bury Brian Morstead on a designed punter run during a Pro Bowl. So
I remember that. I mean, yeah, those things are bound to happen.
To be fair, Sean Taylor was a special cat.
Yeah, Sean Taylor was wired a little differently.
Yeah. So obviously, I should talk about this. Obviously, if you didn't see it yesterday, like I was, obviously I was sleeping, but I saw it later, and my Facebook was like basically like filled with this. This is a picture, and I'm telling you right now, every time when I see it, I actually get more choked up. This is a picture of the Team USA hockey team after celebrating gold, having. Oh shit! Here we go. The Johnny Gaudreau family celebrate with them. Like that's obviously his 2 kids with them, and then you have Vinny Trocheck, and I would be sure that is correct me if I'm wrong. That is
Dylan Larkin.
Dylan Larkin, I think. Yeah, I think
number 21.
Yeah, it's like Dylan Larkin, and I don't know who the other player is on the left, but I mean, if you're a hockey fan, it is Vinny Trocheck. Okay, so yeah, I mean, every time when I watch this, I'm not even kidding you. Every time when I see this, I get chills. Like it makes you really nostalgic about how it happened. And I mean, today, the one thing that really makes me feel relief for it is that Gaudreau family, because they have been through so much together in the last 2 years. When he got tragically killed by a drunk driver, and along with his brother. Everybody in the Philadelphia area and the South Jersey area was crying yesterday because of that. Because I think it was very moving. It was a very moving thing.
Yeah, it was big.
And it was I wish Johnny would have been there to see that. I mean, it would have been great to see that for him. I'm just glad his family was in attendance for all of them. They were a good luck charm. They were there from the very beginning, and it's really cool.
It makes me, and this was a question that was brought up during the telecast, and this just magnifies it. Yeah. What is U.S. hockey now? Like, is hockey and the relevance of hockey back in the U.S.? And I think more so than not, it most certainly is. It's not just the gold medal for the U.S. It's what someone like Johnny Gaudreau stood for. and how the NHL and the players from all countries and almost any hockey player like honors him because Johnny did it right. And this is a guy that was a special talent, gone too soon. This is a guy that was right from our backyard. And understand, there was a guy I'm still trying to garner contact with him to bring him on as a guest. It's a guy who played juniors with Johnny. And it's a guy who, like, we had the same coach. When I was in juniors and he was in juniors, we had the same coach. So he was on my Twitter feed because our coach is one of my followers. And so I found his Twitter post about the Johnny Gaudreau tribute. And I replied, I said, "Did you play with Johnny?" And he's like, "Yeah, I played with him briefly in juniors." And I'm like, "Oh." And I'm like, how I was like still wondering, like, okay, how did I get this guy on my feed? And so I looked back and I'm like, oh, okay, I connected one and one. It was my one of my ex-coaches. So, I reached out, I DM'd him. I'm like, look, I would love to talk more about Johnny hockey because honestly, like, I look at the tribute, I look at what winning the gold medal means. United States, this, like, the 1980 Lake Placid men's U.S. hockey team set the standard for what hockey was going to mean in the United States for the next 20 years.
Sure.
Winning gold now, and even before winning gold, having Johnny Gaudreau's memory being so present in hockey, my feeling is this is the standard now. This is where you're going to see more and more kids start going to go play hockey because in the United States, because they're going to want to be like Johnny Gaudreau. They're going to want to be like these gold medalists. They're going to want to play for the next generation of men's U.S. hockey. And I welcome it because I think, honestly, I have missed the, homegrown U.S. hockey player.
Yeah, and the thing that I would say here about the Johnny Gaudreau family too is that I remember when it happened, when I got the news. I don't think who was the messenger that put it out there, but I remember like it was like someone said, I'm not sure, but I think Johnny Gaudreau passed away, and I'm thinking like that's probably some of like AI shit or something like fake, like something like doesn't seem right. But then there was like reports, and it was like, yeah, I mean, just it. But yesterday, seeing the Team USA win the gold medal, and they said, you know what? It's kind of like I've been saying it for the last 24 hours or so. It's like this one was for Johnny. Like this one was definitely for Johnny. Obviously for everybody who was associated with them, obviously like the people that, like, Joey, that you played with Johnny hockey. Obviously, I mean, you didn't play with him technically, but you had teammates with him. Obviously how he was a real staple to the South Jersey area. Like there's a lot of people that were happy to see Johnny Gaudreau being mentioned yesterday. And also that to me shows me like his spirit was there yesterday. That his spirit was there with his kids and his family, his wife, his mom and dad, especially Guy Gaudreau, who's and also who's been. It's just those kinds of things like connect me really wholeheartedly as a hockey fan because those things do come together, and that's the thing that Mike Tirico said last night in the closing ceremonies. With that, hockey is the best sport to have people come together and watch the game of sport of hockey. And he nailed it on the head. And I think it was very, very well done by him. I thought he did an admirable job all with that, especially coming up to that. And even having his inner Al Michael is like saying like the Cinderella story with Kurt Warner in 99, saying that how else would you say that the Super Bowl champions, or at the time, the St. Louis Rams, it's kind of like the same thing. He rippled that effect with Johnny Gaudreau and the family and also the sport of hockey. and those 2 weeks with the Olympics were just it was cool to see watch like curling, obviously watch like hockey, like see Team USA finally win gold 46 years to the date that they did it. But yeah, the one thing I'm really happy to see is that the sport of hockey hopefully can build on that, especially like let alone what happened yesterday, and especially what can bring a lot of. You're good, Joe. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's all good. So yeah, I think that's the one thing I'm really happy to see is that we were thinking about the Johnny Gaudreau family, and now it feels like it felt like it was a little bit. It was like a sigh of relief yesterday. Well, not a sigh of relief, but more relief for that family who suffered through so much in the last 2 years, guys.
Now you heard, I heard this after that there was a player from the U.S. I don't know who it was from the U.S. men's hockey team that gave Johnny's wife his gold medal.
Wow!
Like the idea that a player said, I know I earned it, but Johnny would have been here to earn it. Like that's the difference, is that hockey brings together a different type of, we talked about the toughness, but there's a different type of teammate you have to be in hockey because it's all got to row together. Right. You know, like I remember one of the key skills that my coach when I was 17 or 18 years old. You got a whole bunch of arrogant teenage kids, bunch of arrogant teenage boys that think they know more than they do. And the coach would always, he had this like air horn. And every time we didn't do something together during practice, he would sound the air horn like it was like a missile dropping, like a bomb dropping. And he's like, nope, start again. And
like her books again, and then they blow the whistle.
Right. Like he would sound the air horn. He's like, nope, start it again. And we would all be like, okay, who missed out? We're all looking around at each other like, who messed up? Which one of you knuckleheads is the idiot that messed up? Like, we're all looking around because we know we need to support one another.
Sure.
And the first thing that, Jack Hughes said in his interview is that, they're all brothers. They're all brothers on that U.S. men's hockey team.
Right.
Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to switch gears a little because before we get out of here, I brought this up to James Austin, and I want to get this. We're got 26 games left in the Flyer season. 52 points, eight points back. Okay. You earlier in the season planted your flag and said the Flyers are back. Now, I am not going to dispute whether or not what your take is, but we're gonna reset a little and say this. I'm going to ask the both of you, and then I'll give my answer too. You got to take a position. The U.S. men's hockey team and women's just planted their flag on top of hockey, world hockey. Okay, so you have a chance. Are you planting your flag for the Flyers for making the playoffs this season or not? I'll start with you.
Not only has my flag been planted, it has been set with a concrete foundation and will not waver.
Ooh.
I made that call. I made that call. What, 2 months into the season?
Yes.
I am not wavering from that call. This team has everything in front of them to be able to fight their way into the playoffs. Even like I said before, even if it's a one and done, a foot in the door is better than no foot at all, and this team can get their foot in the door.
James, I'm going to ask you the same question. You got to plant your flag or not, and there's no judgment. That this is your opinion. Plant your flag or not.
I know the last 2 months haven't been easy for the Flyers, but honestly, if they can get this train back on track and find a wheel, and especially like in the words that John Lennon would say, and the wheels go round and round, I would hope that I'm saying in 2 months from now, I'm hoping I'm scheduling my seat to see a sea of orange in the crowd of the Flyers going back to the playoffs. I'm hoping that I see that Flyers hockey is relevant again in South Philadelphia, and I'm hoping that I would see a good Flyers Stanley Cup playoff run. Not saying finals yet. Hopefully next year they'll jump one step further. But like even Austin said, just getting in the door is better than not getting in the door at all. I think that was perfectly well said by you, Austin. And I think that's the one thing that the Flyers need to go back to, because they have the team that could go to the playoffs again. I mean, obviously you had a little bit of a slump before the Olympic break, but this was a perfect recharge for them to get their bearings back. And I know it's coming up in the next couple of days or so, and that's going to be 26 games left to go in this season. So it's kind of like there's no time to waste here. So I think that's going to be the most important thing for the Flyers team, is that they need to get back to where they were as a team early on in the season. But if they get in the postseason, man, this would be – it's going to be – I mean, obviously, I don't know about what the Sixers are going to be doing. I mean, the Eagles are going to be at the draft at the time. Phillies, I don't know, but hopefully Phillies will give us something too. But I miss Flyers playoff hockey in April. Every time it's April, I always would say Flyers hockey is back. And I'm hoping in April of 2026, the Flyers will make it back to the postseason for the first time. And God knows whenever that was.
James, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
Hmm.
You say hope. Playing your flag or not. You got to choose.
I got to play my flag. I'm playing my flag, bud.
All right. Now,
so before you give your opinion, my dad knows in all the hitters, it's time for the boys in orange and black to make a run now in all caps.
Yes. I'm going to go, and I really thought about this for when I was watching the gold medal game. I said, this is the type of hockey I want to see for the next 2 months. This is the type of hockey I want to see for the next 2 months for my team, and I feel like I could. Because, okay, we don't have Hellebuck, but Villard is something special.
Mm-hmm.
He is something special that I think we can utilize. Now, there is every possibility that this team can pursue
yes, man,
what
means
they
you're
need.
going to be going to the playoffs, buddy.
I'm putting my orange glasses on,
mm-hmm.
and people are going to look at. But I'm tired of wavering. Like I asked myself this question and said, we've had conversations in the past, James, me and you and
mm-hmm.
Patrick Bernard with, you get your hopes up and then they take it away from you. I was like, you know what though? If they take it away from me this time, fine. I'm okay with it. I can live with it. But I need to have the hope. I need to have the inspiration to believe that I'm going to see really good hockey and really meaningful hockey.
Yep.
That being said, I am planting my flag that the Flyers are going to make the playoffs. I'm also planting my flag that this team's going to make noise in the playoffs. Ooh. I feel like this team has a lot of potential.
Right, brother.
And you know what? I'm glad that all these other naysayers on WIP and 97.5 are all doubting the Fly Guys. Good. Let you put yourself in the Sixers camp where you're believing that they can make the playoffs and that they can make a deep run with a guy you can't get on the court and stay on the court and another guy who's carrying the team all the way. This Flyers team is from start to finish, from top to bottom, a hungry team. They're going to prove how hungry of a team they are for this next 26 games and more. I want 45 games, which means I want a deep playoff run. I want 45 more Flyers games to watch. So I want a deep playoff run. I want the rest of the season. I want to watch 2 more months of meaningful hockey.
Love it.
Even more than that, and you said that incredibly well, Joe.
Yeah, man.
Even if they don't make the playoffs, they have shown me enough this year that they can continue to improve and get better and have legitimate shots at being a playoff contending team. They have the
run.
talent. They have the talent.
And
it started with the goaltending and is working its way out. And they did exactly that. They went and they got themselves a guy that everyone wrote off as a goaltender in Dan Vladar. They have guys on the blue line that people have written off. You know, Rasmus Ristolainen, and everyone's saying that he's washed. He's too slow. Like, Risto's been playing pretty well in the time that he's been back. He put points on his sheet and on the board for Finland when he was playing in the Olympics. Like, the guy can still play. Vladar's already, you know, Jim Jackson was talking about it when we did the interview with him. Career high in starts already. He's already beginning to cement himself as a number one goaltender for a franchise when people wrote him off.
Right.
Trevor Zegras, Anaheim was done with him. The phone call that they gave him was, "Hey, you're gone. Thank you."
Right.
He's been lighting it up here. This team has all of the potential in the world, and just like you said, Joe, let all the talking heads talk about the Sixers and let them go. Let them go, because the Flyers have been playing with house money from game one.
Right.
Nobody gave them a shot, and look at what they're doing already. They're 8 points out with 26 games to play. You can absolutely do this. You just have to come out and grind the way you were from game one to start the year. And you know they can do it. They've taken the best team in the NHL and the Colorado Avalanche to the limit and then beat them in a second game.
Yep.
This team absolutely, if not this year, next year can make a legitimate run at maybe even a Stanley Cup final.
And it's also a team that's still a couple points away from another great team in Carolina. You know, like, and then that's a team that they're saying, you know, has a strong possibility of making it to the Stanley Cup finals. It's like, okay, so we're going toe to toe with some of these teams that people are saying are way above our pay grade. That's fine. But the last time I checked, the idea of being able to play above your pay grade means that when it comes to the playoffs, if you're still able to play above your pay grade, that means you advance. That doesn't just mean you win a game. That means you can advance. And look, you want to talk about ammunition. You talked about ammunition with Rasmus. You talked about the ammunition with Trevor Zegras. Here's another ammunition. Travis Konecny's pissed. This is a guy who's pissed because he got snubbed for the Olympics. This is a guy who's going to be coming for retribution and sorry for every other opponent because you're in the way. And so my feeling is really simple. I want everyone to just continue to like the talking heads have all said, well, they've had 3 years to build this. I'm like, wait. The Sixers have had over a decade and they haven't made any headway. So I don't want to hear anything. You had the Phillies who haven't had promise. You had 2022. Okay, good. You're great, but you're working backwards now. Like the Flyers are working forward. And we understand that, okay, when Danny Briere and Keith Jones sat down with the media, they said this was not going to be a quick rebuild. So unless you're deaf, you understood what that meant. We're not going to jump because it sounds or seems enticing. We're going to make progress. And the progress being, look, Mitchkoff's in his sophomore slump. Okay, can he straighten up and fly right? Sure. Zegras needs to get back to the way he was when he in the beginning of the season. Can he do that? Absolutely. Ristolainen has upgraded his stock. This is the point. Like, these guys, their stock's up. The Sixers, their stock's down. Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
and
guys.
That's the thing that always confuses me is we gave so much leeway to the Sixers with the process years that when the Flyers are finally like, we're going to go ahead and start retooling everything. Mind you, new head coach, new front office look. You think that the window should be now? We literally just brought in a new head coach to fix the problems from the previous 3 years. and we brought in a whole new front office to try and reshape this entire organization from the ground up. You're expecting them to be contending consistently for conference final and Stanley Cup final right away? You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. You look at any other franchise, if that were to happen with the Eagles, what would the thought process be? Oh, about 4 or 5 years, they'll be ready to contend. With the Phillies, about 5-6 years, they'll be ready to contend. You want to give the Flyers 3.5 months?
Right.
Like you're out of your goddamn mind.
I mean,
give this team time to shape. They're already shaping.
Yeah.
This is already shaping. How long did it take the Sixers to get to shaping? What, 7 years?
What, 12 years? I mean, we're counting on 12 years.
Like 8, 9
plus.
failed top 5 picks.
And you got to keep in mind something Jim Jackson brought up in an interview. The Flyers are building, like we're talking about, but there are building blocks not even at the organization yet. There are building blocks that we're waiting to come in that are going to be stars. And that perspective on top of whatever else Danny does, like trading Rusto, what else he does in this year's upcoming draft. Like, there are things that he can do. Now, Jim made a valid point by saying we're gone with the years of waiting for these star free agents like Eichel and guys like that. Sure, some of those second, third tier stars might hit the free agent block, but with the cap going up, teams are just signing their guys. And that's fine. But I also go back to saying something, and I didn't bring it up to Jim, but, it's something to be said. We talked about Mitch Marner switching teams. We talked about Quinn Hughes switching teams. These are both big-time names, big-time players. So the possibility of getting a big-time name isn't outlandish. It's just a matter of how picking your spot, picking the time, picking the moment where you don't get rocked like a Daryl Morey with a trade, or lose out on a big free agent like Dave Dombrowski did this all season.
Right.
Like we can sit here and we can nitpick about all the things the Flyers could do wrong, but the things that I'm seeing that the Flyers are doing right are they're building and progressing talent. Just because Mitchkov has some downside this year doesn't mean he does. He's 20 years old. He's 20. Okay? Let's calm down. Let's take a beat. The guy can't drink a beer yet. All right? Like, let's take a beat for a minute. These guys are going to be fine. I almost look forward to what's coming. And that's why I say I want to watch meaningful Flyers hockey. Now, my expectation is if it's 26 games of meaningful Flyers hockey, fine. If it's 45 games of meaningful Flyers hockey, I'm all for that too. Sign me up.
Yeah.
What's up, James?
Mitzkowski's like chiming in with all the toots and whistles and all that. Just saying I'm a sophomore, stop a sophomore slump, and how am I 20 if I'm 31 years old? He's a trip, man. But obviously, I think the one thing we can do here, I think it'll be only fitting since yesterday, USA won gold. I think for me, Rick Tock is going to come out here and say, okay, I lost the gold medal. Now I want to hunt. Now I'm looking to hunt some blood now. Hopefully the best thing that happens here too. Obviously, we got 26 games left. 26 games is not a lot. 26 games is going to come pretty fast if the Flyers team doesn't start to get their act together. But I will remind you, back in 2010, April 11th, Flyers-Rangers shootout, do-or-die situation, and the Flyers got into the postseason on our last day. Yours truly was there. I know many of you were there. So it will be fitting. Not saying shootout. Hopefully it won't have to come down to it. But I'm hoping at this point in time that we'll be hearing this one more time. And also, not just once, but a few times.
Yes.
So let's get it, man. Let's fucking get it, boys.
And I'll say this in parting. You want to talk about a shootout? The one guy that we have that I'll take on a shootout is
Zegras and Dan Villadard.
Yeah. Let it happen. Let all the doubters like doubt and let it happen. Let's watch meaningful hockey.
Absolutely. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Well, sometimes good things have to come to an end, and this show has to come to an end eventually. But that's going to do it for us here for this week's edition of. Hopefully next week we'll have some positivity to talk about on this airwaves, because obviously I should tell you guys before we get out of here, tomorrow's my birthday. So hopefully my birthday wish, my Flyers go back to the postseason. And hopefully, more than anything, the last time we checked, the one guy that was there calling that game for the Flyers is now the one that stopped the puck in 2010 is Brian Boucher. But hopefully, so most importantly, it would only be fitting for the Flyers to make another chance to get back to the postseason. But guys, it's been fun. I want to say thank you once again for you joining us here today at home, and also you guys watching it everywhere that you need to go. So, like I said,
James, happy
what's
birthday
that, buddy?
to you. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you, brother.
to you. And then happy belated birthday to your mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, yeah, let's get it
Let's
going.
see more cake, bud, like Travis Konechny would say.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So that's going to do it for us here today. But, guys, like I said, it's been fun. I mean, obviously, we're going to keep on getting more funner. And it's going to get funner as the season goes along here. So I want to thank Joey and Austin once again for joining us here today. Austin, where can people see you next, good friend?
Actually, probably in about 2 hours, streaming again on twitch.tv/Hambo26. I, this past week, was getting over the flu. And a fun little treat for myself, I bought the 2025 Game of the Year Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Wow.
Very beautifully done, old school style, turn-based RPG. Little bit of a fun little footnote. I want to say about 32 minutes of the game, if you're sort of taking your time a little bit like I was, is just prologue, and it rips your heart out. And then you go into the start of Act 1, and the game basically gives you a goddamn Saving Private Ryan scene where everyone is dying around you. It is the craziest shit I have ever played in my life. I went from crying to saying what the actual fuck 13 times in a row in a matter of 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
That's something.
I'm literally maybe 25 minutes into Act 1, and it is, I can totally understand why this was Game of the Year. It is one of the most, it's the most fun that I've had playing a new game in about a decade.
Oh my God.
Probably a game you start out going,
I don't think I've ever in my entire life playing games have literally had that quick of a turn on a dial emotionally. And I don't think I ever will again. But that is because the people that made it are French, and they are good at those things.
Definitely.
A buddy of mine in my chat was like, yeah, dude, that's the French. They're incredible with their tragedies. I went, they need to chill, dude.
Absolutely. All right.
Aside from that, I'm also still running through Baldur's Gate 3. We're pretty deep into Act 2 in that, and that'll probably be. I honestly can't even give you a time frame on when I'll get to the end of that, because there's so much extra little branching stuff that you can do on your way to the end of that game. But I've been having a blast with that. I'm playing as a Goliath sorcerer, which is really fun. I'm a really big dude that doesn't hit anything physically. I'm just like, oh, dude, that big thing over there. Hope it doesn't like fire.
A Goliath sorcerer. That sounds like such like counter, like oxymoronic. It's like I'm gonna be a big guy. I'm gonna be like Hagrid, but I'm like got the power of Dumbledore. Like what?
Like I can pack mule, but I'm not swinging a weapon at anything.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like I got Shaq, but I don't have to do a damn thing. I just stand here.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can people?
Like Wemby.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Austin. What's that?
I was saying it's like I'm built like Shaq, but I can shoot like Victor Wembanyama.
Oh God, yeah. I think we got a show this week, Joe. Did we not?
We do. I forget one of Mitch's buddies is going to be coming on and joining us. We're going to talk all things Eagles off season, Phillies spring training, and we're going to dive into some of the Flyers with their second half and some of the Sixers. We're going to talk a little bit about if we think Joel Embiid has played his last games as a Sixer this season. He is back to his old antics, and we're going to talk about why that just doesn't surprise anyone.
It doesn't surprise me at all, I'm going to admit.
And it's exhausting. This is the reason why we should have traded him at the deadline.
Cool. He says, Michkowski says, you'll be on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, on Mitch's morning show. Yeah, I'll be discussing some Flyers and Phillies with him as well. It's going to be a good time. Sort of touch a little bit more on what we discussed here today, and then sort of start helping gear people up towards the beginning of baseball season. Of which, fun fact, I saw today, Nick Castellanos has been taking some play over at first base for the San Diego Padres.
Really?
Because he was so good as a corner infielder before in his career. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's why he wanted to leave the Phillies, because his buddy Bryce Harper wouldn't leave they wouldn't swap positions. Hey, Bryce, I want to play first base. You go back into the outfield. No. I'm not elite anymore. I can't go back out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Castellanos started as a third baseman with Detroit, and he was not good.
Well, hopefully
they moved him to the outfield. He went to the Cubs, and he was still a minus defender. He made his way here, and he was still a minus defender. You look at the numbers; he was still a minus defender playing with the Phillies, even though he made a lot of really good plays. Still a minus defender, and they think putting him on the other corner of the infield is going to solve that? I don't know. I really don't know. His plate discipline has never really been the best. I mean, it's better than Javi Baez, but that's not really saying much.
No.
So I don't know.
Rhys Hoskins going to the Guardians. That's an interesting.
Yeah, that one's big. Minor league deal there, because the two guys they have platooning at first, they're both lefties, and they want a righty to be able to platoon out there with one of those left-handed guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be another great show. Hopefully, we'll dissect that all on Saturday. Next week, we'll dissect more about the state of the Philadelphia Flyers. Hopefully get some wins out of it. Most importantly, to start off after the Olympic break. But guys, it was fun. We got to wrap up here. So thanks for everybody for tuning in, and thank you for everybody for joining us, like Austin and Joey, like always. So now for everyone behind the scenes and for everyone that made it work here, for Joey, for Austin, for myself. Thanks everybody for joining me. Tomorrow I might be celebrating my birthday off right. Hopefully not drinking so much. I'm just kidding. I don't drink that much. But overall, until then, we'll see you guys back here next week. And hopefully the Flyers get some good wins to start off the Olympic break. Until then, we'll see you then.